Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Between Friends. I'm delighted that you've joined me. I see we have folks kind of from all over, and Petra is joining us from Germany, which is awesome. It's lovely to have you here, Petra. And Teresa Vanderven in Missouri, Laura Perks. Laura Perks is an avid embroiderer. I'm going to go ahead and put her comment up because she's from Lincoln, Nebraska, and she's always here with us. So we love that, Laura. But she said she's piping in today, even though this is Hooping Essentials, because she wants to know if, there's something that she's missing. So we appreciate that. We really do thank you, Laura, for doing that. And here's Petra all the way from Dresden, Germany. Lovely to have her here. Somebody up in Chicago, Vanessa, Chicagoland, love it up there. And our friend in Dawn Chase in Virginia at Creative Appliques, and Cindy Clark in hot South Dakota. Oh, it's hot up there. I guess it is for sure. But hey, Cheryl Johnson, maybe you're winning that hot game in Nevada. I would like to tell you we have a special guest today. I'm so excited. And we're introducing kind of a new product. It's a combination of products that you're already familiar with. But this trio of really 4 different products together as one unit, you're going to love how they just make hooping absolutely seamless and easy to do. And isn't hooping the hardest part about embroidery? It's all about the getting started. And, it's your biggest challenge. Because we all know the machine does the heavy lifting, right? All we do is press go, and the hard part is over. So that's why we're talking Hooping Essentials today. So let's go ahead and welcome in my good friend Sue Brown from OML Embroidery. Hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here, and especially for hooping, because there's an old saying that says, you're only as good as your hooping skills.
Oh.
Yeah, that's an old saying. So if you can make any hooping easier, I'm all for it. All for it.
I agree. We have to make it easy so that we all have success. And it is true. And especially true today as these machines get better and better and better, right? That's where our hooping skills really do come in. So, Sue, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've been making fun characters, horses, cows, sheep, cats and dogs. And I've just been having a great time doing that. And of course, my thread wall is the most amazing thing ever. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just sit and look at it some days.
Just what is on your thread wall, Sue?
Every single thread that Exquisite has.
All 288 colors?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And it's beautiful. I color sorted everything, and I put it up so they're all, so it's easy to find stuff. Yeah.
Love that.
Gorgeous.
Oh,
it's gorgeous.
I'm so glad that you're using it, and it becomes art in your sewing room, right?
It kind of does, and I show it every video that I do. I'm like, here, have a look at my thread wall. And everybody goes, wow. I'm like, yeah. Want to color? Any color. I can do anything.
Oh, my gosh. I love that. That's our paint, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I'm really happy, though. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we have folks from New Orleans, Central Alabama, Tucson, Maria Soto. Maria's often here. And Patsy Downer, she's also from Nebraska. Wow, it's awesome to have all these people visit us. And, we're here every week on Thursdays. For the past couple of weeks, Ashley Jones has been taking over for me because I've been kind of playing hooky a little bit here and there. So
you should.
Yeah, happy to have her here for sure. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to talk about today, which is our essential hooping skills. This is, I think the biggest challenge when you're hooping, Sue, is getting that bottom frame of Snap Hoop Monster or the outer ring of a standard hoop to stay still while we're trying to put the stabilizer and fabric and then top frame or inner ring in place, right?
Definitely, for sure. It's I've been known to hoop like 10 times till I get it right. With this, I used it the other day just to hoop different things. And I was like, oh, that's
Right.
easy. That's
Yeah.
easy. It's
It
so much
is.
easier. Yeah. And I love the pal too.
The PAL, yeah. So we're going to be using that tool. But finished goods are flat fabric, right? So when we're quilting, we're working on it might be a quilt sandwich, but it's still flat. And
Yes.
our sewing embroidery machines were designed to work on flat goods, right? That's what they did, was seam two layers together.
Yep.
So um, and that can be probably the easiest thing to hoop, but then, we often want to embellish blanks, things that are already finished. And we call those tubular items, like a t-shirt or a sweatshirt or a tote bag, right?
Yep. Or a onesie. Oh my
No,
goodness.
or a onesie.
Nightmare.
Yeah,
Nightmare.
right. Or a beanie, something like that, like a ski cap. So we still want to embroider on them, but they really can be a challenge. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to hoop several things today. But first, we're going to take a look at this new combination product, which is called our Essential Hardware Bundle. And it is a beautiful bundle. Wait till you see how easy it goes together. So let's go ahead and watch that. So, I
Awesome.
mean, isn't that awesome? That's the totally tubular hooping station. So in this Essentials Hardware Bundle, we have combined the totally tubular hooping station, the perfect alignment laser #3, and the pink hoop mat, and a a whole roll of Target stickers that come in this
Oh,
really
yes.
cool new dispenser, which is kind of like a postage stamp dispenser here in the US, and it's just awesome. So,
I think
uh,
everybody should have this because it really makes it so much easier.
yeah,
And, embroidery can be about perfection and you can do it perfectly every time.
yeah,
I think it's great.
I do too. Well, and it is a great price in this new bundle. So let's go ahead and take a look at that price so you can see it is a savings of $106.96. So you get um, all of those tools, the totally tubular hooping station, the 100 sheets of Target stickers, the PAL 3, and the pink hoop mat, all for $150 and free shipping. Now, you'll notice that it's not just the pink hoop mat. There's also two white mats that are identical to the pink. Well, they're not identical, right? But they are non-slip surfaces. They do have a grid, but they're white and they're sized to fit the totally tubular hooping station. So you don't have to, stack them on top of your pink hoop mat. You can use it on another surface. But anyway, so shall we go over and take a look at how we use this stuff, Sue?
Oh, absolutely. I think there's a wow factor to this. And I think everyone
Yeah,
will go, oh, it's so
yeah,
easy. It's so
right.
easy.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to go to the overhead cam. We're going to start with the pink hoop mat. And the pink hoop mat it has a half-inch grid, and it does have a center line that you can see is a little bit more bold, and that's really helpful. Now, you can't see that there are rulers on the outside of this mat, but they start from 0 in the center and they go out in half-inch increments. And we find that so handy when you're hooping, right? Because we're always trying to find the center of things. Now, I'm just on a flat white work table, and I have my perfect alignment laser attached to the table. You can't see it from this view here, but except just the nozzle. But there, we'll go ahead and put it on. Now, sometimes all we want to do is find the center of something that, without, instead of marking and so forth, like here's a little quilt block, right? That we want to mark the center. So all I have to do is place this under PAL. And I am making sure that that crosshair is hitting the center marks on the block, right? And then I take a target sticker and I position that right inside that opening, aligning the crosshair on the target sticker with the crosshair on the fabric. And then when I move this over to the hoop and I'm ready to hoop, I know that my design is going to come out exactly centered right where I need it. I won't have to measure when I'm in the hoop. So that's an easy way to use PAL. We don't really need the non-slip surface for that, but it's okay that we work on that. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to hoop a terry cloth towel. And in this instance, I have my bottom frame of Snap Hoop Monster, and I have added rulers to it. We do sell them separately, so if you would like to purchase them, you can. Gosh, I've used my hoops for a million different things. So I find that if I have rulers on everything, it makes it a little bit handy. So now what I've done here is I've positioned my bottom metal frame of Snap Hoop Monster on this non-slip grid. And like I can push and it does not want to move. Under PAL, I have aligned the 0 marks with the laser beam. So I know that this point right here is dead center in my hoop. So it might be easy to identify it now, but as soon as I put that stabilizer over it, I've lost all of my reference points. So that's a bit of a challenge. And, I have a terry cloth towel that I already have a target sticker marked on. So, I could do some hooping if I kind of want to get it in the center, right? But I have that laser telling me exactly where my center is because it's going to align with my crosshair. And then I take my top frame and I'll just position that so that this top frame is aligning, the outside edge right here is aligning with the metal frame underneath. Doesn't have to be perfect at all because I'm going to just drop this, keep my hands out of harm's way and drop it. And then I can smooth and tug on that fabric, right? It's still monster hoop. So let's not forget that. That gives us the ability to smooth and tug and make it nice and taut, just like we want it to be when we go to the machine, right? Now, whenever I'm working on a Snap Hoop Monster, I always make sure that that magnet shield that comes with the hoop, that's not just packaging. It's actually a protective layer. So I'm going to a protective device to separate the top and the bottom. So I'm going to use it to transport my hoop. This way, I don't have to worry about dislodging the fabric from the bottom if I were to press, my hand all the way through. And I have tearaway stabilizer on there. So, I don't want to tear it away in the center of the hoop, right? But this is how I carry it over to the machine. I'll lift the body over the hoop itself and then slide it onto the machine, open up that sewing field, and then center my needle right over that crosshair. Now notice that crosshair has an arrowhead on just one leg. Let me move that over so you can see. There's an arrowhead just on one leg. And right now it's pointing towards the side of the hoop. That arrowhead indicates the top of the embroidery design, the orientation of the embroidery design. And because I'm going to stitch the word Milstead, which is going to be long, right? It's going to really fill my 5x7 hoop here. I want to make sure that Milstead is parallel with the hem of my towel. So that's what that arrowhead is telling me. Use that, use your target stickers properly, and you'll just have more confidence when you're hooping because it really is easy to, as long as you start out with the right tools and use them in the proper way, that's how you ensure success. So let's see. So next thing we want to do is we're going to hoop that's all we're going to do on the pink mat. So let's see if we have some questions before we move over to the board, which is so much fun. I love the totally tubular hooping stations. They're like my favorite things. What do you think? Do you use that a lot, Sue?
I do use it. Anytime I need to hoop something,
Hmm.
it goes on there because my pink mat is always full of fabric and stuff. And
Yeah,
that is, it's just there and it's empty. You won't put stuff on it. But
right.
yeah, it's fantastic. And the pal and the stickers
Mhm.
makes everything so much easier.
I
Like
agree.
it's foolproof. Like you could set up 10 of them
Yeah.
and then hoop them and take them to your machine and you'd always know which way's up, where it's supposed to go.
Right.
It's awesome.
Because we often
Awesome.
get interrupted in the middle of these big jobs that we do. Let's say we're having a family reunion and we have to do, 10, 15 t-shirts, and you want to make sure you're getting them all done correctly, right?
It makes it a lot easier so you can get all the nasty hooping
Yeah.
out of the way and you
Right.
don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. It speeds up the time that you're taking
Mhm.
to do it. And of course, with the monster hoops, with the magnetic like that is so much easier too.
Oh yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
it's
I
lovely.
mean, all of these products do work with standard embroidery hoops. In fact, I should probably pull one off the wall. I'll go do that so you can see how stable that pink hoop mat is for a standard hoop. Um, I just frankly don't use them very often, but here, let's go get one.
No, why would you? If you have the magnetic ones, you have all of them, I'm sure.
Oh
It
yeah,
makes a
absolutely.
big difference. The other
Mhm.
thing I like about the pink hoop mat is it is big enough for my biggest hoop on the Luminaire. So it
Ah,
makes that easier. It's bigger than the blue one. So
yeah,
I can still have and especially
right.
with a big hoop,
Yes.
it gets awkward. It
It
gets
does get
awkward.
awkward.
Yeah.
It's really kinda,
Yeah,
it's very large, very, very large.
it
Great
is.
for some things, but can be a challenge to hoop on it, and especially when that bottom frame is moving all around. So let's go ahead over at the overhead, and just so you can see how well this stays in place. And I'll put my pal back on. Because these hoops, right? They have little nodules. So let me pay attention. They have little center marks on the hoop. And if you can't see them, if you never really noticed them, here, I'll bring it up close. Like there's this little nodule right here. Take a Sharpie and darken that, or fingernail polish, something like that, so that you can have clear visibility as to where the center is. And now you can see, like, that just does not want to move. I mean, it just stays nice and still, just like I want it to. And then when I'm hooping, it's going to stay in place when I put that center frame in. So don't be afraid to use your standard hoops on it. Even though we don't use them very much, we understand that maybe you do. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move this pal out of the way. And I have already pre-set up my totally tubular hooping station with the small board first. So let's go ahead and see if we can get that moved over into position. Kind of good. Huh? Maybe I'll do it sideways. Of course, okay, so there we go. There we go. Okay, so in all my moving, I'm not really centered, but that's okay. We can just notice, PAL, right? PAL 3 is this long gooseneck. It's actually 28 inches from tip to base. So you can illuminate this beam on a very, very large surface. That's why we made it so much longer, because we realized that you can't illuminate it on the big hoops like the 10 by 16 that you were talking about earlier. So that's why we made PAL 3 longer and more flexible. It's easier to adjust. And at the very tip, you can just turn that to line it up, just in, fine tuning, right? Just a little fine tuning. And we like to get that laser to align with the grid on our mat. And that tells us that everything is in place as we planned. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we're going to, okay, I don't have all my hoops, so just bear with me 1 minute while I get a bottom.
I think you're gonna hoop a onesie, aren't you?
Eventually, I'm gonna work up to it soon.
Okay,
I'm
because
so
yeah,
scared. Oh,
they are very difficult without all this, they're
Yeah,
very difficult to
I
do.
know. But first, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to hoop just an adult t-shirt, left chest, right? Because this is something that we often get asked to embroider,
Yeah.
right? Left chest embroidery. So you can see I have my print and stick target template paper with my dime logo printed out. And all I have to do is get that on the hoop. So I had, because this is an adult large, right? I can hoop this almost any way, but I like to go hem first. And we're going to get that centered right underneath that beam. And I'm going to hold on to everything, right? So I just use this hand to hold on to the t-shirt, to keep it in place, to smooth everything. Now I already have my no-show mesh on the wrong side of the t-shirt on the design area fused in place, so I don't have to worry about any separate piece of stabilizer. And again, I'm just going to place that top frame perpendicular to the bottom, kind of aligning it at the edge, and then I'll just drop it in place, and there you have it. I am ready to go. I am just about perfectly centered. You could see it is just in alignment with those zeros, and when I go to the machine, I will, oh, you can't see that. Sorry about that. Thank you. I have somebody in my ear, thank goodness, telling me to move it under the camera. They don't have any idea what you're talking about. So thank you. Oh, and here's Linda Johnston. She says, when is the large snap hoop monster coming for the new Bernina 990? Someday soon. That's all I can tell you. Hopefully someday soon. That's out of our hands at this moment. So, we're so blessed that so many embroiderers love to use our hoops, that the expectation is that the minute a new machine comes out, so does the new big hoop from Dime. But there's a little bit of development that has to happen. So just keep your fingers crossed, and hopefully there'll be one in the near future, right? Sue, have you seen some of that? Have you seen anything on that Bernina 990?
Me, no, because I
Ooh.
have Luminaire, so I
Yeah,
have all the hoops, the
right,
monster hoops for it,
right,
because
for that.
that's all I
Yeah,
use, and it's so much nicer. They fit into the machine properly too, which
yeah,
I've noticed if you buy like an off-brand one, I've thrown them out because they don't
yeah.
fit in properly. So, yeah,
Mm.
I just buy them when I find them and hang them up on the wall. They're fantastic.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. My
Oh,
sister she lives in Florida and she just made a new friend. And that friend happens to be an embroiderer. Like they didn't even know it. They're golf friends, right? And so she went to visit her house and she has all the dime hoops in her sewing room up on the wall. And my sister was like, you should see it. Looks so beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, I have that too.
yeah,
I
that
know how
you
that
do.
is. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
yep,
right.
right.
Okay, so we did the adult. So now we can go ahead and let's move on to I guess we can do the onesie. Is that what I said I would do next? I guess. All righty. All right, so I got to
No.
take this out of the hoop and get the onesie going. Okay, so now I have to think this through. Now, because of the attachment, right, on the 4x4, and because so that makes the hoop kind of wide, right? I know you can't see that, but it makes the hoop kind of wide,
Mm,
even though it's still only a 4x4. So I'm going to offset it on the board, and I can just move my alignment, my laser, so that it's still aligned with those center marks that I've marked. And then I'm going to take my onesie, which I have my no-show mesh fused on the wrong side. And I'm going to open it up at the bottom, right, at the snap opening. And I'm going to slide that over the frame and the hoop. And it's just going to take a moment. I'm just going to work it over because this is kind of a small onesie. 18 months is a heck of a lot easier to hoop than 9 months or 12 months. And don't even bother with the 6 months, for also because they're only in it for a minute.
yeah.
Okay, So I'm just kind of smoothing all this out. There we go. And see, I have my laser aligned with my template, right? There's something, I can feel that stabilizer has kind of worked itself loose. Now we're all set. So now I'm going to take my hoop guard and I'm going to place my hoop guard, I hope this is going to work, on the bottom. All right, because here's my attachment, and then I'm just going to center this and drop it down. And I'm going to align that. There we go. Pretty good. I can pull this and make it nice and snug. And then I'm going to open up the design field. I'll turn off this laser so it's not, oh, wrong one. Oh, here we are. Okay, and I will pull this. Let's pull it off the board, right? Let's pull it off the board. And then I'm going to turn it inside out and nest everything above the hoop. Takes a moment. Look at that, how it stays in place. I'm going to pull those little sleeves out because you know how they want to sneak right into the sewing field, right? So there we have all the arms, both arms are out. And then we're going to pull this over that hoop guard. Oh, yeah. And then there you have it. I love it.
Perfect.
I love it. Isn't that great?
That was not difficult, and it stayed perfect. I'm impressed.
I know. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can do it too. Believe me, you can do it too. It's not that difficult. New in town. How cute is that for a newborn, right? Isn't that fun? Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at a beanie.
Ooh.
Okay, so here we have a ski cap. I know none of us want to think about this at this time of year, right?
No.
Or maybe you do. Maybe you do.
No.
Okay, maybe you're sick of all this hot weather. Okay, so now, since I have both sticky hoop and snap hoop monster, I'm going to do a little combo deal here, right? So this is our sticky hoop that we sell, is just the bottom with rulers and the attachment, and you place that sticky on the back, right? It's pre-cut and sized perfectly for the hoop that you buy. So I have that in place. This time I'm going to turn the frame this way. Let's go ahead and get the laser on so we can get aligned. And let's see. Now we'll move here. So I'll move that off so I can get aligned with the grid, because that's always your, that's how you can ensure you're nice and square. There we go. Now I'm nice and centered in that hoop. And I'm going to take my beanie, which I already have marked with a target sticker, and I'm going to slide it over. It's going to take a minute because, it's that stocking knit and it wants to catch on the board. So I'm just going to dress the board. It just takes a minute. And I got sticky stabilizer under there. So, we've got all kinds of different things that are happening. But basically, we want to get that target sticker centered under that laser. And once we have that in place, we are good to go. Now, this has a shape to it. It kind of has a curve. So I wouldn't fight that. It's going to work out just fine. And then we want to take our top frame, because remember, I told you I have both sticky and I have monster hoop. So I'm taking my top frame and of monster hoop, and I'm using it on my sticky. And I'm going to now place that hoop guard on the side opposite the attachment. And I'm just going to drop that down and then open this up. And then when I go to the machine, I am ready to stitch, and it will not come, it'll stay out of the sewing field, and I'll be able to stitch my hat, my words, whatever I'm going to say, my text, or maybe it's, a logo or something. Isn't that cool?
That's brilliant. I never thought of doing that. That is brilliant. That works so much better. You'll never get anything caught, like the bottom end caught on it.
Right.
It's very frustrating when that happens. So yay.
Yeah. And they're so stretchy, those beanies, right? And we don't want to stretch it out of proportion. Okay, let's see. Oh, Mickey Smith said she didn't see how you kept the back of the t-shirt out of the hoop. So you're probably talking about the adult t-shirt. So You're right. I didn't finish out that hooping. What I would have done, Mickey, and I think it's out of the hoop, but we could do it again. I would then turn the shirt out, wrong side out, and nest it around the sewing field. So
It's easier with a bigger shirt,
yeah,
I
it
think.
is easier.
Yeah.
And let's see. And then Vanessa says, it looks like you're stretching the hat to go around that board. Won't that cause the embroidery to be wavy when it goes back to shape? Well, it depends. If you're going to wear the hat, if the hat fits your head stretched, then that's the dimension that you should actually embroider at. Think of like, remember the old leisure suits where the zipper, when it was hanging on a hanger, was kind of wavy, but then when you put it on your figure and wore it, it was nice and straight. That's because the garment was stretched during the construction, the adding of the zipper. It's the same with embroidery. Same with a tight-fitting legging. You know, if you want to embroider on that, you need to stretch that out just like it would be stretched across the leg during wear. So there's a, you know, so what I've taught this many years ago, where you literally put, let's say, the leggings on, or the hat, the beanie, right? Let's stick with that. You put it on your head, and then you stick the template there and mark the template with two pins outside the design area. Measure that. And then when you go to actually have it on the sticky stabilizer, stretch that fabric a little bit so it's that same dimension. So let's say it's 4.5 inches across, then that's what you want it to be. So I hope that answered your question.
Brilliant. All brilliant. And if you don't stretch it even a little bit, embroidery does not stretch.
Right.
So it'll stay, like it'll kind of bunch up a little
Yeah.
bit because it's not going to go. So
Right.
it's much better to keep it flat and looking good. So awesome.
Right. And then, of course, you should use a layer, a topper, water soluble topper, just a film type, kind of I call it the lightweight weight, but it's not really, you know, there's regular weight and then there's heavy weight. So use the regular weight. Okay. What's next? Well, did you know that you could use these boards to do HTV? So let's take a look at that, huh, Sue?
Awesome.
Okay. So here, oh, we got to turn on the iron. Oh boy. So we need to chat a little bit while this warms up. Can we do that?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course. I always have lots to say about dime amazing stuff. This is, to me, one of the best things, and I can't wait to see what you do with HTV. The onesie was just incredible. I don't do many of them, and when I did, I pretty much threw it across the room, and I had an extra one, and I tried it on the board, and I was like, oh, well, that was a lot easier.
Yeah, it is a lot easier. Of course, on a multi-needle machine, it's very easy, right? Because you're just, you know, sliding it on over there.
Yeah, that part is, but it's still hard to get it hooped straight because they're so small.
I know, they're so small, right? Yeah. So we've been playing with HTV, and you know, our friends at Caesar, the company that creates heat transfer vinyl for us and many other and many of you around the country, right? So they like to they tell us that HTV applies better if it's on a flat, hard surface and not an ironing board. So the totally tubular hooping station can double as a pressing station for some projects. And I have a little cosmetic case that we're just going to put a flower on. And combined with the PAL and the board, it's pretty slick. It really is. So yeah, I think we can go over there and start getting it set up. By the time we do that, it'll be hot enough. So I just have a little flower. I'm not going to take a lot of time to do this, but I've marked my bag with the center on, you know, all 4 sides just by folding it and finding the center. And then I'm going to slide this over the board And, it's going to take a moment. Now, you'll notice now that's not going to really work for me, right? Because my pal is not forward enough. So that's okay. That's what that beautiful 28-inch gooseneck is all about. So I can go ahead and now make this, there we go. That's going to work out just fine. Oh, and my little pin just came out. So we'll slide this over. And now I'm going to align that crosshair with my pins. That's all I have to do, right? And it's just going to take me a moment to place my HTV right in the center, right where I want it. I'll get rid of that pin and the other one. Now, of course, if I had a word or someone's name on here, I would, I'm going to cover that with a Teflon pressing sheet, if there is one, because that's what we should do. But okay, to the right of the shop wall. Okay, so I'm going to cover that just because it's kind of a nylon. Goodness knows what's going to happen with that, right? You know how that goes. So notice I'm applying pressure. I'm pushing down on this cantilevered, totally tubular hooping station. And that's allowing me to add the pressure that's needed. And I have my timer on my Cricut press here, and it's just ticking off. I have it set at the right temperature. And then once it beeps, I'm going to be able to peel this off, and hopefully everything will be fine. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll just, we have to do a cool peel. So we'll wait just a moment, and we'll let that. It's actually really hot, so we'll wait before I peel that off.
So you don't have to worry about the non-slip underneath the iron? You have to wait.
It's heat resistant, but if you are, just roll it up out of the way.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and I think I'll do that again because some of those guys didn't. Let's go ahead and we'll start that. I think when you use these pressing sheets, it does diffuse the heat a little bit. It's good to protect the material that you're putting the HTV on, but then the strength of the heat is not really there. So sometimes it takes several applications. Have you found that, Sue?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. And you need to use the Teflon sheet to protect your, like if you have other embroidery on it, you have to, it will melt.
Right. It will definitely melt.
Oh, yes.
It will definitely melt. And that's
there you go.
good. Well, we lost one. Oh well.
You can still do it again.
I could do it again. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put that little center on it, and we'll just put this in place. We'll do it one more time. One more time. But I find that these boards, this totally tubular hooping station is so versatile. I mean, I use it for so many different things.
I like it for exactly what you're doing because it only took you a minute to be able to do this. So heating up your Cricut was the worst of it waiting. Yeah.
It takes the longest time.
Yeah.
So we'll just let that cool a little bit. And then I think it's time to move over to the big board, and we have some other things to do there. And then we'll just pull that off. There we go. Of course, that got caught. There we go. Now we're all set. Isn't that cute? Super cute. And all because
an easy fix. Yep.
Yeah. Easy fix. That HTV is so forgiving, isn't it, Sue?
It is. It is. And that's one of the things that makes it so nice. I personally love the HTV with the matching metallic, Kingstar metallic thread. I think that's just a match made in heaven. I got the kit that has the matching thread. Oh, Halloween, here I come.
Yay. Okay, so let's go ahead and move over. You know what? Before we do that, I want to show you the special again because it's just really a great price. It's $150 for that hooping station, the hoop mat, the pink hoop mat, the PAL 3, and the Target stickers. And this is where you can find it at our Dime Elite dealers. So let's take a look at where that is. We have dealers all over the country, and I hope that you are
Wow.
visiting your local dime dealer, because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those dealers. And when they become a dime elite dealer, they sign up and we ship these products to them a month before I talk about it here. So it's in their store and
Oh,
it's ready for you to purchase.
that's
So I
awesome.
love that. Okay. And if we don't have one in your town, like Marilyn Snow says, she doesn't see any in Utah. Well, Marilyn, go to your local dealer and ask them, would you please become a dime dealer? Because you want their product. And, that's how these products get out there, is by, avid embroiderers asking their local dealer to stock it. So anyway, we would love for you to help us out with that. Okay. So let's go over to the big board. All right.
Yay. Yay.
Yeah. So the big board, obviously attaches to the small board. It's the other side of it. And I have already placed my 8x8 hoop on here. And I have an adult t-shirt that's going to do this big design, this kind of heartbeat design. I think that's kind of fun for maybe Valentine's Day, or just, somebody. Doesn't matter why, right? Okay, so now, and I have my no-show fused on the wrong side. So I'm just going to line that up, going to smooth it out, make sure it's all feels nice and smooth. And then I'm going to take that top frame and drop it in place. Now, you'll notice that my rib neckline is just about caught in there, right? And that's okay, because I can't see the neck. Okay. So here, I'll push that. So I'm going to undress the board so you can see. And for my friend who asked earlier how you manage the back of the fabric, right, or the t-shirt, what I've done now is I'm turning it wrong side out, pulling the sleeves out.
Just the same way you did it for the onesie.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, just easier.
Right. And because it's such a big sewing field, I didn't use a hoop guard. I could use a hoop guard. And if I did, I would do it on this side, opposite the attachment. We never want to put hoop guard over by the attachment, because there just isn't room between the needle and the pantograph. But you could do it on this side. You could also do it down here. But I find on an adult t-shirt, you don't really need it. And then, of course, I'm going to take my magnet shield, slide it underneath that hoop, and transfer to the machine in that fashion. That's how I'm going to do that. And I like that 8x8 hoop for a lot of center chests, even sweatshirts. It's really great for that. So here's a mama t-shirt who became a mom in 2022 when she had her firstborn, right? So we decorate that t-shirt with applique design. And we're, again, I always go, hem first, right?
It seems easier to do it that way.
It
Don't have
does.
to,
Yeah.
mess around with anything.
Right. Now, here's a good example of, that arrow, right, with the orientation pointing the top of the word mama. Now, here's my attachment. I know you can't see it, but my attachment is in this direction right here. And so maybe I can move this whole piece. I can slide that in. There we go.
There.
You can kind of see the attachment. So, when I get to the machine, I'm going to have to rotate that design so that mama stitches out in the direction that she's supposed to, right?
Well, I think that makes a big difference, because if you've ever done it the wrong way, it's very frustrating to have it upside down or sideways, and we've all done it. So I think, again, foolproof for sure.
Yep, absolutely. So again, we're going to turn this now. This is bulky, right? And we have long sleeves. So I'm literally going to go ahead and put my hand into that arm and pull it right side out, right through, and the other one. And then I'm going to nest the whole thing on top. Let's go ahead and get that started so that the sleeves are where they're supposed to be. There we go. Okay, and there you have it. All of it is out of harm's way. Pull those sleeves out, and again, open up that sewing field, and I am ready to roll. Use my hoop shield to take it over. It's really easy.
The other good thing about using the hoop shield is it ensures that like the sleeve doesn't fall down underneath and you don't notice or
Mhm.
something like that because you're keeping it flat and straight. Because
Right.
that's another mistake that everybody makes is that
Absolutely.
you didn't pay, you missed a
Yeah,
bit and it folded underneath and it's like
absolutely.
so
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to Marilyn Snow. One of our team members took a look, and we actually do have two dealers in Utah, and one is embroidery.com, which they do have a retail location. I believe you can visit them if you'd like. They're in Provo, I think, and then Rocky Mountain Electric Quilting. So, check them out. Check them out. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's do a little HTV on a tote bag because you
Ooh,
can. Why not? Oh, well, I might have to switch boards because my iron is all the way over here. We got a lot of wires going on here, gang. Okay, so just bear with me a minute and I'll pull it over. And then my team members will tell me if I am in the camera view. So how am I looking there, Gloria?
perfect. Perfect. Yep.
Wrong camera.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, but it's a big board, right? So, okay, and I have my tote bag. And since this is Hooping Essentials, I thought that's what we would write on it. Look at this nice tote bag. It's tricolor, right? It's got this beautiful tan and a cream and a black. It's pretty elegant. And I have marked the center with a pin, as you can see right here. So get those straps out of the way, right? Just put them on the outside. Now this tote measures just about the same size as the board. That's all right.
That's
We're going to go
perfect.
ahead and I'm going to line up that horizontal line with the pin, the vertical line, this line here, I guess that's horizontal to you, with the pin. And I'm going to mark the seam line with the laser. And then when I place my word right on that, well, I have to fold this in half, right? So that's how we do this. We're going to fold our word in half. So I'm aligning, the ends of the word, and I'm going to crease it there and crease it at the bottom. And then I'm going to match those creases to the laser. So right there. There we go.
Wow.
Yeah, and I want actually my word to sit pretty close to that seam. Now, I know that I'm probably setting myself up for trouble if I do that. I just want to make sure that I am aligned, which I'm not. So that's what those half marks will do. They'll get you nice and aligned. So that looks
Wow.
even to me, right? The
Yes.
separation. Yeah. Okay. And let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and roll up that mat. Why not? And let's put our pressing sheet in place. I'm going to turn off the PAL because it just kind of gives you a headache. And then we'll start and see how this goes, right? And again, we
Perfect.
apply pressure and it's counting. And when it beeps, we'll hope that it's applied and everything is as promised.
Let it cool peel a little bit. That would be very difficult to line up perfectly with the seam line. That would
Mhm.
take me more than a few minutes to do.
Yeah. And, you can sit HTV on a seam. But when you do, I will tell you that during the pressing, it's not flat there because you have the bulk of the seam. And some of that HTV doesn't get all the heat that it needs because the iron lifts just a little, right, over that
Just
seam.
even yeah, and you would
Yeah,
notice it, and you would be able to see the bump or the depression on it too, so the way you did it was perfect, just a little bit above, but
yeah,
still pretty
yeah.
much on the line. It's
I hope so.
awesome.
I hope so. Okay, so let's see. Cynthia Farris, I was getting a little upset when I was reading this, but turns out that's actually a nice comment. So, how lovely, Cynthia, to say that we have great products here. You know, we do. I mean, we embroider and we run into the same problems you run into. And that's why we create these products. We offer embroidery solutions for all of your embroidery challenges. I mean, that's our goal for sure. So,
It's the
um,
right tool for the job
yeah,
is I've been using it for 20 years, almost
yeah,
17, 18 years, and the perfect placement guide, that
yeah.
saved me so
Oh,
many times at the
I know.
beginning. Oh,
Yeah,
man. But,
yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's awesome.
Something. Cynthia Farris, thank you for your kind comment. That's very lovely. Okay, so let's see. We'll do a little peel here. Fingers crossed. No, it didn't do it. So, okay, you can't do this live. So I'm not going to do it. But you
Nah,
know how it works, right?
yeah,
You saw,
yeah.
and we'll just, after we go off, we will, I'll do it. I'll get it done. Okay, so in the meantime, what we want to do is it's time for the On the House, which is why Sue Brown is here. So, Sue, you're the owner of OML Embroidery,
Yes.
and you do tutorials online all the time on your YouTube channel. Tell us a little bit about all that.
Just about everything you can think of, especially dime products,
Mhm.
I use and I do videos. So every Saturday at 10 o'clock, that is going to be a stitch along. And once a month, we do the project of the month, which is free. And I show everyone how to do it and go
Awesome.
through the instructions and why. And I do it live. So if I make a mistake, that I can show everyone how to fix it. But it is a good time. It is a lot of fun. And you'll always learn something. You'll
Yeah.
always learn something.
That's awesome. So if you enjoy this between friends, you're definitely going to enjoy OML Embroidery Sue Brown. She's just got a worth of knowledge for sure. And let's see, our good friend Dawn, she says all the essentials at a fantastic price. It definitely is now. Marianne Dublago already bought it about a month ago, and she thinks she now owns every dime product. So I love that. Thank you for your continued business, Marianne. You're a treasure. We treasure all of our customers. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening next here at Dime on August 6th. Can you believe we're talking about August? Oh my, how the summer's flown, huh, Sue?
I couldn't believe when you sent me the email saying it's the end of the month.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
All
Oh, it
right, right.
is.
But
It
Ashley's
is.
going to be here on Tuesday, August 6th, getting started with the special effects software. Now, if you were here
Oh,
between friends last week, you saw uh, special effects software. So just do it.
I
Mhm.
love it. That's right up there with Lace Maker. I'm saying I
Absolutely.
love it. I will be watching that for
Yeah.
sure.
Right. Mhm. Jan Wilson, she says, is my dealer selling the bundle for the same price as you? I would imagine so. Yes, that's how it was set up, that they would do the same price. Although I can't control that. That's their option to sell whatever price they need to. I'm going to be back next week, August 1st, and I'm going to have another guest. It's going to be Reen Wilcoxon, and we are introducing a new product. So that's super fun. And yeah, here she is piping in. She said so many great features and special effects. And, but you know, Reen, she's known for lots of special effects of her own, right? All that in the hoop. So it's awesome. So let's see. We would love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook. It is what keeps us rolling here, and that's how we know you like what we're producing. So we really appreciate that. And we want to see your projects. So stay with us while you watch this reel of all of your projects. And for us to find them, we ask you to post them with hashtag Dime Sew Along on the house or exquisite thread. So let's take a look at what you've been doing. Oh, so many good designs. I like that stand tall with the giraffes. I liked all of them really, but my goodness, it's
They're
awesome.
all cute, and the projects are always so good.
Aren't they
They're
great?
all different, and
Yeah.
they have a technique that you need to learn. I love it. I like
Yeah.
the sheep at the very end, by the way. He's beautiful.
Yeah, we have some adorable animals coming up. We do.
Oh, good.
So let's see. I just want to answer Dorian's question. She said, "Would it be better you use the hoop guard on all sides?" Dorian, we don't use multiple hoop guards on a hoop because you do lose some magnetism when you have a hoop guard inserted between the bottom frame and the top frame. So we just and you can never use it behind the needle, and you can't use it on the left of the needle. You can't use it behind the needle because then you wouldn't be able to get the hoop on, and you can't use it to the left of the needle because there just isn't space there with your pantograph. So when we use it on the right side of the needle and the bottom, the end of the hoop that's closest to you when you're sitting at the machine. So that's what we recommend. And let's see, Amy says she just recently purchased special effects software. It's just so amazing the cool things you can do and create. I know, and wait till you see when Ashley's here on
Oh,
August 6th. Oh my gosh, so much fun.
it's worth checking out because
Yeah.
you will be surprised at everything you can do. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's
Mhm.
amazing.
It is. And if you want these free designs that we've been talking about, the on the house, they're still on our website. They're there all year long. So just go to dzgns.com under embroidery free designs, and you can download all of them. And we encourage you to do so because they're really great and they're professionally digitized, including today's. So this is a cute little birdhouse that sits on a tea towel or kitchen towel, but that scallop edge is made in the hoop. Notice the plaid on the birdhouse. I used our special effects software to make that. Isn't that fun,
Oh,
Sue?
yes. Oh, yes. That is amazing.
Yeah, you're gonna love
Wow.
it. So the plaid looks, it's actually, it looks like one color, but it's actually two different colors. There's a lighter blue and a deeper blue that make up that diagonal pattern. Oh my goodness, I love it. And the
I
cute little scallop roof and the door and all that, but all these things are just in special effects software. You can make it so fast. Now, the scallop trim, Sue, is it's just regular sewing, right? That's all you're doing with 2 layers of fabric in a hoop. And because you're just doing a running stitch, you don't need any stabilizer. It seems odd, but you really don't. So what I did was, well, first I most certainly used our perfect placement kit to
oh,
find
yes.
the right location for the birdhouse, and then I stitched my birdhouse on the towel. And then I took a piece of fabric. I believe this is 8 inches by 16 or close to it. And I folded it in half, wrong sides together. And look at it in that hoop. It's not even filling the hoop. It's okay because it's just like you're sewing. That's all you're doing, except that instead of you trying to sew perfect scallops along an edge, your embroidery machine is going to do it. So you'll stitch that first design. And Sue, I'm going to challenge you on Saturday to come up with your own way to connect it to the next repeat. I kind of did this MacGyver way, but I know it's a lot easier with print and stick Target template paper. But anyway, what I did was after I stitched the first one, took it out of the hoop and I laid it under POW. And notice I have the vertical line at the edge of the scallops and the horizontal line at the bottom of the last scallop. And then I use tape to mark that straight line. And so, and I, apply that tape underneath the what am I saying? Scallops, right? At the edge of the scallop. I'm losing my place. Anyway, and then, I place my, now I moved to sticky hoop, to sticky stabilizer, because it's
Yeah.
just so much easier.
Yeah.
And align it under POW, stick my marked fabric under the laser on top of the hoop, and stitch the next design. pretty easy, right?
So this is
Oh, I like
kind of what we did for the small town charm, all the houses with the scalloped.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, challenge accepted. I will come up with something in
Okay,
how
I
to.
love it. Yeah,
Yep.
so then, you're gonna and it's just 2 repeats, and, then, take it out of the hoop, tear off the stabilizer, and, use pinking shears to trim those scallops. If you have them, boy, that makes when you turn it, you get nice curves. Now let's see, Patsy Downer wants to know, do you have to have special effects software to make this design? No, you do not. All you have to do is download this design. It's free. And in your download, it'll be a zip file. It's going to have the instructions. It's going to have the 2 designs, the scallop and the birdhouse. Everything you need is in that one zip file. You will not need special effects software. We will in there will be included all machine formats. But if you use our embroidery toolshed or our embroidery toolshed plus or any of our software programs, then you can just use the C2S file and open it up and then send it to your machine. Otherwise, just use the machine file that we provided for you. Okay, so once we do that, and then, in the peaks or the space, the little peaks between the scallops, you want to clip right up to that, so you get a nice turn. But don't snip it. And then pin it to the bottom of the towel and top stitch it or seam it to the bottom of the towel, right? So there I have my raw edges of my scallop. This is after it's turned and pressed, aligned with the bottom of the towel. And I sew it with like a 1/4 inch seam allowance and then flip that down and then give it a little edge stitch so it stays in place. And that's now the words, the Milsteads established 2015 are not included in the embroidery design. You would do that on your own. And I'm sure, Sue, you want to do that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And with the luminaire, that'll be nice and easy too.
Yeah. Or you could use, our micro lettering that's in
Oh,
PEP and, any of our fonts. So yeah,
micro lettering
that's what I
is the
use. Yeah.
best
Yeah,
thing ever,
it is.
ever. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is a great project. That's
Thank you.
fantastic. Yes.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. It's so fun to have you here and do the big reveal. And really, folks, Sue doesn't see it at all until you see it right here. I don't show her when we meet earlier, like we kind of connect about an hour before we go live, and I don't show her. In fact, I keep it all hidden because
Yeah.
I like to see her face on camera too. Yeah, it's fun.
Well, it's all from the heart. And, I
Yeah.
can't wait to stitch out the plaid.
Yes,
I can't wait to see how that looks because
right.
that is going to be awesome.
Yeah, so you'll play with some color on that, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, of
Yeah,
course. Yes, you know
absolutely.
me. It's not
Yeah.
gonna be necessarily
Yeah.
normal, but I'm thinking kinda Halloween colors for it,
Yeah.
Halloween
Mhm.
fabric at the bottom.
Yeah.
Maybe, you never know.
Maybe.
But
You never
yeah,
know. You never
l
know.
a
Yeah.
lot of good techniques in
Right.
that and a lot of good practice
Mhm.
for, positioning and doing everything like that.
Mhm.
It'll be a lot of fun. We will
Right.
have fun.
So Esther Hoplin is asking, what does it say at the top of the design? So what I did was I put a family name, the Milsteads. That's my daughter's name and the year she was married. So those text elements are not included with the design. It's just the birdhouse and then the scallop edge. So if you want to make it personalized, then you would add your own lettering. And Patsy Downer says that would be a great wedding present. It would. And Esther Hoplin, so you stated that we didn't show your turtle coasters, that you posted them on Instagram with our hashtag. So our team will look again, and hopefully we can get them in next week's program because I know that you do beautiful work, and we most certainly want to see that. So we'll take a better look. Sorry about that. I don't do everything here. Whew, thank God, just a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, Sue, I can't wait to see what you do on Saturday.
Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. If you
Yeah.
can join us, the OML gang, we're a great bunch of people. Everybody is so kind and
Yeah.
nice. And ask questions because nobody will give you a hard time about if
Right.
you don't understand what I'm doing. ask, and there's a lot of people to help. So 10 o'clock on Saturday on the OML Embroidery YouTube channel, and we will be making some cool towels.
Oh, I love it. That's just awesome. Well, Sue, thank you so much today for joining me. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you. And we're going to do that again next month at the end of August, right?
Absolutely. End of August. My goodness. Yes. I look forward to this day right from, tomorrow sort of thing, because, oh, what is she going to do? What's going to
Yes.
be the design? What's the
Yeah.
project? I
Oh.
love it. Yeah, I love
Well,
it.
you're really brave. She only has like less than 48 hours to prepare. So kudos to you. So
I
anyway,
got this.
yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate spending Thursday afternoon with you. And we hope that you'll take advantage of our special. Remember, it's a savings of $106. So take advantage of it. It's free shipping this week. So bye for now. Thank you.
Bye.